Hello and welcome, my little Lilith foot worshippers. Today I will be slapping you with some fresh meat news, so stay a while and listen. Alright, so someone asked a question about how storyline progression is gonna work out. So here's what Rod Ferguson has to say. The host of the party owns the state of the world. If you're aligned, then you all progress. If there is a misalignment, then they won't get the story quest progress XP until they catch up. So if you're playing with a group that's not committed to playing together, it's always best to have a player with the least amount of progress to be the host. And one of my favorite features is the fact that the game scales individually for players, so questline progress aside, you can have a level 1 and a level 30 playing together, having fun because the game scales for them. So yeah, you don't have to worry about your friend just getting slaughtered. Alright, you heard the man. Make sure you're all on the same track. If someone is behind, make sure they are the host and catch them up to your speed. I'll give you guys a pro level tip. If you have a lower level friend, start feeding them a level appropriate weapon to boost your efficiency with your co-op progression, because the chances of you getting weapons that are right around your level are pretty slim to none. This is just assuming that you're the highest level in the party, but I'm sure you will have plenty of lower level weapons to spare for your friends. Sharing is caring. Alright, so you guys might have noticed that them slippery little goblins sort of stopped dropping them juicy legendaries. Well, have no fear, Rod Ferguson is here. And he says, yes, we're aware, and we have already made the fix for launch. So, this is awesome. Yes, give me my juicy legendaries. Alright, so let's talk about the world boss schedule. Someone asked, haven't seen a clear answer on this yet. At launch, are the world bosses going to be on a set schedule, or are they available all the time? If scheduled, I'm also curious to know what the intervals will be. Then we have Adam Fletcher. There will be spawn times, but they will be varied. This will be a nice change if you guys don't have to worry about setting up an alarm clock to wake up at 5 in the morning. But I'm thinking they're gonna keep it at the 3-hour increments for the boss spawn like they did in the beta. I think that worked out pretty well. So hopefully they keep it like that. And there's more increments throughout the day. The 3-hour increment. So hopefully they keep it just like that, just like they did in the beta. Alright, so next up is a question about minions. So Lord Delore asks, hey Adam, firstly, thanks for the great game. Secondly, do you know if there will be skins for minions? And Adam responds with nothing for now on that. So I think this is fine. Just please don't make it strange and have a hot dog army running around, because that would be just weird. But I would be down to have a Care Bear and Unicorn army. So yeah, take my money, no doubt. Alright, so the next question is about the tab overlay. Christopher asks, will there be a tab overlay map eventually added to the game? I really miss being able to look at my map while moving in Diablo 4. Rod Ferguson says, no plans at the moment. Good job, Rod Ferguson. I love you. Okay, so here's what I think about the tab overlay. Listen here, you little filthy casuals. We don't need a tab overlay. It's ugly and disgusting. This world is beautiful and majestic. Why cover up an Angelina Jolie with clown paint? You just don't. If you worried about your health bar, well, guess what? When your health starts to get low, your screen starts to get red and bloody, your heart beats faster, and your character goes into unusual but satisfying screams and moans. Plus, once you get to know the layout of the dungeon, you really don't need a layout. Case closed, mic drop. Alright, so next question will be, you doing any more podcasts leading up to the launch to discuss the game? Rod Ferguson says, maybe 1 or 2. I think this is fantastic because any more juicy information is always going to be great, and for them to connect with the community is always a plus. So keep feeding us all the information. Alright, so let's talk about boss and elite damage scaling and CCs. So Joe Shelley says, when a boss in Diablo 4 is staggered, they are treated as afflicted by all CC types. For example, if you have 10% increased damage to slowed enemies, you will deal 10% more damage while the boss is staggered. This applies to other effects conditioned on the target being CC'd. And then someone asked, does this mean damage is stacked if you have multiple CC bonuses? Say you have 10% to slow and 10% to fear, would that add up to 20% damage? Joe says yes, damage stacks from multiple bonuses either additively or multiplicatively, depending on the effect. And then another person says, do world bosses count as elites? And Joe says yes, all bosses count as elites, including world bosses. This opens up a kind of a new world to more double dipping damage, because I know, for instance, the Barb has like a skill that gives 100% more damage to world bosses. So now, I didn't know this, but you can start stacking elite damage and that'll count towards world bosses too, so that's good to know. You can start double dipping. And then someone says, can you clear up if poisoning is considered a CC in Diablo 4? Poison is not considered a crowd control effect on its own, it is a damage over time effect. However, if you had an effect like enemies you poison are also slowed by 20%, then enemies you poison would be considered CC'd due to the slow component. And then Joe also states that critical hit damage, overpower damage, and vulnerable are separate effects with separate affixes, but they can all occur on the same attack. The floating combat text changes colors when this occurs. So basically this means that we can see some really big numbers with all this combined. And that is all, guys, for your fresh meat news. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe if you want some consistent updates on Diablo 4 and what's going on in the universe. So you guys all have a fantastic day, and remember, druids are OP. See ya. Is that you, Mr. Butcher? Hello. Easy peasy.